All right, and welcome to another episode of the Snapshot Podcast with your hosts, myself, Isaac, and we have
My name, Yef.
we have Jeff Otto. So
Jeff Otto,
today we have a great guest. Her name is Karina. She is a designer, and we kind of want to get to know a little bit more about her story and just kind of know her start, like her aspirations, anything just fashion related that she's been a part of. So it's going to be a great episode. How are you feeling about it, Jeff?
I'm feeling great. I'm excited to have Karina here.
Thank
Right.
you, thank you.
So kind of first off, like, so you two kind of know each other already, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we went to school together.
We went to the Art Institute of Phoenix in like between 2015 to 2018
Yeah.
ish. Yeah.
We're aging ourselves.
I know, right?
How was that? Like, what would you guys do in school together?
We had different careers, but I think some of our classes overlapped, if anything. I think I had like one photo class with you.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty much it. But it was interesting. It was interesting seeing like the Art Institute had a very diverse community. So it was interesting interacting with different majors. Like we would always utilize the photography students for our fashion content, such as like media. We would use styling, shoots and stuff like that. So it would kind of all go in hand. So it was nice seeing their development and growth now, not only just when we were in the school. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your major?
Fashion design.
Fashion design.
Yeah.
So mine was graphic design, actually, but I did hang out with the fashion people a lot.
Yes.
I was always around.
So I think most people were. I think we were one of those people that like we always had like the weird stuff going on, like the events. So it was always nice to hang out with us for sure.
Did you learn a lot, like, about what you do today in school, or was it mostly just kind of your experience in it?
Yeah, I did not touch a sewing machine till like high school. My parents don't sew, like my mom does not sew. I'm pretty sure none of my family knows how to sew. So I learned a lot more when I did take fashion design as a career. Obviously, you take home ec, they teach you how to sew like the basics, like a flat pillowcase or something like that. But once I came to the Art Institute and started studying it a lot more, I learned, the different techniques, the different types of sewing patterns, how to create a pattern, learning about material and how that changes the design of the garment and all that. So it was very eye-opening, very interesting for sure.
Sweet.
What was your passion and interest in fashion? Like, what drew you towards that route?
For me, it was just wanting to create something, like seeing obviously the big names, Dior and all those, create literally beautiful garments out of like nothing. And then I like I said, I did it for home ec. I think I did one competition with like FCC LA or something. That's what it was called. And you had to make a recycled garment, and it like piqued my interest. I did a wedding dress out of Pop Tops, like the soda Pop Tops.
What?
Yeah.
That's
So I
crazy.
saved a lot. That was like my first like, okay, I really love this. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna change my career from biochemical engineering to this.
Ooh,
As a
biochemical engineering to fashion? Wow.
I
Huge
had a full
shift.
ride to ASU. My mom was not proud.
That is crazy. Wow, what a switch.
I took all the AP program courses. I was a tutor in high school and all that. And I think that, like I said, it piqued my interest. I did it for fun. And I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, I don't think I can sit in a lab all my life or in a cubicle or
Yeah.
behind a computer. And yeah, I genuinely love the creative aspect of it. I think that's what kind of like, I was like, Red Bull, like I needed something to go above and beyond for myself, but still like make someone happy. Like I always joke, like my motto is don't forget to smile. So I'm like,
Okay.
I feel like people that wear my clothing when they're happy makes me happy.
Nice. So what is it
that.
like? What is your favorite type of like designs to make? Like, what are your thought process when you're making your designs?
I want my design to be affordable fashion. Like I want it to feel like the luxury atelier fashion houses. So I want you to feel like you spent $1 million, but it would only cost you under like 200. And I know we spoke about this earlier, but my cutoff for all my designs is 200, whether it costs me more to make it or not. because I want
Oh,
people to be
yeah.
able to afford fashion. I want fashion to not only be a conversation and only the elite get to have it, but also be something that like I want to buy this and I want to support this artist, but I also love how it feels on me. And I joke with people that I make clothing that you can eat in.
Oh, really?
It has to be comfortable. I'm
Yeah.
a very comfortable girl, and I like fancy stuff. But I also want to be able to eat a taco when I sit down, and not feel
Right.
like I'm restrained to even sit down for that matter. So I like to work with materials that are easily washable, because not everyone is able to do dry cleaning.
Uh-huh.
I want it to be comfortable, and I always make designs that are gonna be different than you see on the rack. Maybe the actual premise of the garment, whether it be a slip dress or something, is similar to what is on the rack, but there has to have a different feel to it.
Okay.
Nonetheless.
Yeah.
Of course.
Got it.
It's very practical. Like
Yes.
practical, fashionable, and just
Yeah.
accessible.
Accessible
Yeah.
nonetheless, and I
Yeah.
think that's crucial in our industry. Accessible in the terms of not fast fashion, and I know that I'm pretty sure one of you guys at least know that I only make one garment, so I never recreate a garment.
Okay.
It's one and done, and it's for me it's a process of an artistic point of view that once you have an art, it goes to the world and you just let it be.
Mm-hmm.
But also it makes that person that is consuming and buying that garment value that much more than your regular Shein and fast fashion.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my reason.
Yeah, that
for
exclusivity is like,
It's
cause
huge.
yeah, cause like once it starts becoming like to where anybody can buy it,
Yeah.
the value of it goes down. But
Oh,
once
so
like
much,
you make
yeah.
like a limited amount, and like
Yeah.
if they're very well made, it's like,
Yeah.
that's kind of the best way to
Yeah,
go.
and
Every
going
piece is one of a kind.
one of
Yeah.
one, yeah. And I joke with people, I'm like, once it's done, it's like I can remake it in a similar style, similar thing, but never the same color. If anything, like, two people buy and they're like friends and they want to have the same piece, I'm like, I can do it in different colors. I just
Yeah.
won't recreate it in the same color.
Okay.
Or the same design, or I'll alter it in a certain way. But also, it's that feeling of like you said, exclusivity. It makes them feel like, oh, like this is worth something.
Yeah, you're wearing something that really not a lot of people have, you know.
Yeah, and it's a talking point too. Like,
Mhm.
I'm a shy person. Beyond this, I'm a very shy person, but it's a talking point nonetheless to, have a conversation when you're going to networking events as an individual and putting yourself out there. It's already a scary feeling, but like being like, hey, like where did you get that? And it's like,
Mhm.
oh, like she only makes this designs, and not beyond the designer. Like it's a one of one. Like no one in the world will ever have this, and I am the
Okay.
only one doing it. So
Yeah. for
to
sure.
my knowledge, I'm the only one doing it. But my thing is I do everything from start to finish. I do a lot of research, and it takes a lot of time before it even becomes a pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really research what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, real quick though, I'm
Yeah.
gonna move the microphone a little bit closer to you.
Perfect.
Right there. Yeah, we'll just cut that part out.
Are we? I'm quiet. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was like, it seemed just a little too far away. I was like,
No
I need to
worries.
put it closer.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
so like, what would you say like when you did networking to like meet other designers? Like, where would you go to network with these people?
Yeah, obviously school was a great help. Meeting a lot of individuals that are still in the industry. Like I have two amazing designers that I just opened a boutique with. Candace from Remy Rose, and Lizette from Hummingbird. Jesus.
You're hitting the mic now. It's like it's too close.
It's too close. And I met them. They have friends that are some people I don't know in the industry, and it's word of mouth a lot. Stylists I met from Arizona Fashion Week. Obviously, a lot of designers, photographers I met in Arizona Fashion Week. Models. I used to only cast regular people. I'm trying
Really?
to stray away from it. I loved it. I love the idea of someone wanting to be behind a camera and be your everyday Joe.
Mhm.
Models are beautiful, but not everyone's perfect. And I know they're human too, but sometimes there's a preconceived idea of like how they're supposed to look.
Yeah, you just want your
Yeah.
outfits to look like just anybody can wear it, right? They
them,
don't have to be
and
super
I
high.
would cast people
fashion.
short, tall. I'm a short person, so short is always the way to do it. Short, tall, bigger sizes that you wouldn't see on your airbrush magazines. That's the way
Yeah.
I would like to say it. They're
Okay.
beautiful, don't get me wrong. I think that everyone deserves to wear it, but it does make that idea that these people see themselves in my clothing.
Mhm.
It's like everyone can be a model. It's not. It's
Yeah.
not the standard.
Standard,
Right?
yeah.
But it's
And like I said,
yeah.
I love models. I met a few within the last couple of years, and they're amazing. They're creatives. They're talented. Beyond models, they're like completely fulfilled and exciting.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I feel like a lot of models do
Yeah.
get when they are in that position, is like that confidence. Like a lot of models just have to have that confidence, and
Yeah.
like wearing one of their, like a clothes that they're wearing too, like it'll make the next person feel like, you know what, I
Yeah.
can be like that person too. I can wear
I
it
could be
just as
comfortable in
confident. Yeah.
something similar. Yeah. So yeah, that was my reasoning of doing that. But yeah, this recent years I've worked with a lot of models. I just signed to Edwin Lunes and
Okay.
Cassandra to be my brand ambassadors, and
Nice.
Really.
it takes a lot of work because it's like giving power.
Yeah.
I'm such a control person, so giving them the authorization to utilize my designs and have custom designs for any event is something that was so hard for me to do, because it's like you're now representing my brand, and my brand I hold very dear in the values, the reasoning as to what we do. I think expressing those and meeting these individuals in Arizona Fashion Week was really great, because I got the opportunity to meet them beyond the camera.
Yeah.
I would consider
Get
them
to know
friendly
them.
and my friends, if anything. But they are amazing individuals, and they do represent a lot of what my brand stands for. So I thought it was a really interesting way for us to connect and,
Yeah.
have that exclusivity for them nonetheless.
True.
I do want to first say like congrats to you, Candace and Lizette, and starting your fashion house essentially, right at the
Yeah.
Vault. When I saw that you guys were doing that, I was like super proud and happy, because I love
appreciate
seeing
that.
like
I
AI
appreciate that.
alums. Like
Yeah.
we struggle. The creative industry
Yeah.
is difficult out here, but seeing us come together and then
Yeah.
being willing to build something together, it's huge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like I
huge.
said, I've developed very strong connections with a lot of designers there that I still kind of like keep tabs on. I don't say we're like gonna go out for coffee all the time, because not all of us have the time.
Yeah.
But I still support them as much as I can. Like with social media, if I'm able to purchase something from their brand, their collection, or their services, I try to, because I know how it is on that other
Yeah.
end. But
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, having that strong community behind you is so crucial, and making sure that they stay with you throughout your whole growth and career is amazing. I was very excited when I think Candace reached out to us late last year, and she kind of gave us this idea, and I
Yeah.
said, she's like, do you want to go with me? And I was like, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm like, you say jump, we'll jump off this bridge. It was scary, but I strongly believe in these individuals, and these girls are amazing. They're people of their word, and it's nice to have, especially
That's awesome.
in this fashion world.
Yeah. So what would you say was kind of your first big leap that you took as a designer? Like, have you already been working in the industry for a while, and then what was that big, like, pivotal moment for you?
Jesus, that's a hard question.
That's a good question.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So I officially owned my name in 2017, 2018. I wanted to own my name because it felt special.
Mm-hmm.
There's
You
a
mean
lot.
like your brand name or designer name, or what do you
Yeah,
mean?
like I trademarked both my name and
Okay.
both CBK, so they're both trademarked and known to me. Yeah, I
That's
wanted
good.
to be that person, I
Yeah,
wanted to be the
like, it's
stallion,
mine,
It was a good feeling, and then I know you know what happened with the Art Institute, and
Yeah.
unfortunately they did close a year prior to my graduation. Scrooge.
They-
What
they
was
closed
that,
a
like
year
the
after
institute?
Yeah.
What
Or
was
a
that?
month.
Like, I'm not really too sure what.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like for the school?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the school closed. Yeah.
This
Like,
entire school?
the entire school.
Whoa.
And yeah,
So
do you
the
want to go a
art-
little bit more on that?
yeah, I can go into that. So the Art Institute was a series of schools throughout the country. So
Mhm.
they have different locations in like California, Miami, New York, wherever, Arizona. So, and it was essentially like a trade school, but more for the arts and the creative aspect of things. So I mean, with Art Institute Phoenix, there was like fashion, film,
Culinary thing.
culinary arts, gaming, game development,
Gaming was good. Yeah.
and then graphic design, branding. So it's
Yeah.
definitely like that realm of things.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was something I would have loved to be
It
into.
was-
So
it was
it's
a great
like,
school. It was a great school. Don't get me wrong, but I think if anything, if I could be wrong, if I remember this correctly. They had told us like months prior to their closure that they were gonna expand, and then like we got a random email that said, "Hey, you guys are closed by next month." It was
Really?
so weird.
I
Yeah.
wonder if it was like everyone or is
I
just
think
that
it
location?
started with ours, and then I was still doing the after it closed. I was still trying to do the commute to Hollywood. So I was still trying to do the commute to Hollywood, and I would do it.
Yeah.
And then they closed, and I was like, "This is it.
Damn.
This is it. This is not for me." Apparently, the Lord spoken.
Right.
And it took a toll. I
Dang.
would say, and mental health is such a crucial thing. But I
Yeah.
think I went into this horrible slump that I was like,
You're
what
like,
did I do? Like,
yeah, like what am
Yeah.
I doing? What's the next step?
And going back to the whole thing, that I turned down a really stable career.
Yeah.
So it was like I started questioning myself a lot, and I was just like, I don't want to do anything. And I like my room of stuff, of sewing machines and all my thousands of dollars of equipment just sat there for years.
Mhm.
And going back to your question about like what was the pivotal point, was I told these to Alex and Joseph at Arizona Fashion Week last year when I had the opportunity to do it. I gave myself that last year as a cutoff, that if I
Uh-huh.
didn't do anything and I didn't make what I wanted to do, I'm getting closer to 30 than I am to 20,
Right.
that I
Not
was gonna
bad.
call it quits.
Mhm.
I was gonna just give up on this dream and just take a stable career, I guess.
Wow, yeah.
And I didn't. I saw a random ad for Arizona Fashion Week on like 2 a.m. And I was like
Wow.
sketching. I woke up sketching. I had this idea, which never happens to me since prior to the closing.
Mhm.
And I woke up sketching, and I was going on Instagram for like, inspo, as one does. And then it's like 2, 3 in the morning on a random like day too. And I saw it like, oh, apply to be a designer for Arizona Fashion Week. And I was like, what's the worst that can happen? And I
Mhm.
applied, and then like the next day they called. And I was like,
Oh,
that's
wow.
crazy. I'm pretty sure the whole conversation was very, like, what the heck is going on?
Mhm.
Can I curse here? I feel like I can curse.
No, yeah, go ahead.
We'll censor me.
Yeah, as long as it's not like every word, you know.
Yeah, right. And, I went through the interview process that they do for designers, and it's weird because when I went into that room, it felt calming, but I was so nervous. Because I'm like,
Really.
Jesus, no one has seen my sketches since like 4 or 5 years back.
Mhm.
And, I had nothing created because, like I said, I had kind of like stepped away from my mental health for a bit. And I said, like, I don't have anything, but I have sketches and I can deliver. And, and they took a chance on me. And I think that's kind of when my career kind of like flipped over, and I was like, okay, I can do this.
Nice.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I think that's when I met you again, and then I saw the girls, and I was just like, this is crazy. Like, I feel like my life was going like completely left way, and then it's just started like departing right back to where I left off, and it was a good
That's
feeling.
awesome.
Yeah. It was a
Yeah.
good
So
feeling.
that was the
Last
Barrett
year.
Jackson show? Was the
No,
first
this
one that you
was
got into? Or-
Arizona Fashion Week, like literally, like I'm gonna say mid last year. It was random.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fall
Okay.
show.
The fall show,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, it was random. Like I was like, oh, what's the worst that can happen? Like, big whoop. If I don't get accepted, I'm okay with it. Like this is it. Like I'm calling it quits.
Yeah.
Like this is the
Wow,
last
yeah,
sign.
that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
a big leap that you just took to. Yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
glad that worked out. And then, I mean,
Yeah.
how was the show for you? Like the designs you made and just the feeling of seeing your clothes up there. Like, how did that feel for you?
I was nervous. I joke with the models and my stylists, who were amazing throughout the whole event. I sat in my car before, like I was late to like before like the run through. I guess I was late.
Mhm.
I sat in my car like, holy shit, this is happening. Like, oh my god.
On the day of?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
This is real life.
This is
You're like,
real. Like I
whoa.
can't back out no more.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh, okay. And I sat there for 10 minutes crying. I don't know if it was happy tears or sad tears or what it was, but I was just like, shit. Like this
Yeah,
could
this
go
is it.
two ways,
Mhm.
Go really good, or it could go like she ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
And I was willing to take both. I was really willing to take both. And I got in there. The models were amazing. We had an amazing stylish team that thankfully got the opportunity to close with me. I wanted to make sure that, you know, their work was also recognized when I walked. Um, and it was very, very fun. You know,
That's
the
awesome.
team trusted me. And, you know, we had like, I think 2 fittings. We didn't really do many fittings. I was like, it looks freaky, but like I promise you're gonna have clothes when you get on the runway. I promise. And I'm like,
Fittings.
just
What is
yeah.
fittings like?
Fittings is when like before anything is completely sewn together. So just
Okay.
making sure it's gonna fit correctly, it's gonna fall correctly, the fabric's gonna lay right. You know, we don't want you looking like oversized, undersized.
Oh, so then that's when you get like the measures of the model
Yeah,
herself. So then it's
yeah.
like,
And then you see how the fabric fits on her, how it drapes on her, and all that stuff.
okay.
But yeah, it was very interesting. I did 50-50. It was a homage to my heritage. I'm Latina, so it was called Amor Eterno after the song. And it was just like a love letter to Mexico, like, hey, we're here.
Yeah, I think I
That's
remember that was
awesome.
the at the air park, right?
Yeah, it
I think
was,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Some of them were like holding the flowers
Yeah,
too,
it
and all
was,
that. Yeah, I remember that
like I
show.
said, it was a love letter. So at the end, the storyline, if you followed it, was my groom, I think, was my second to last, which was Edwin, and Lauren was my bride, and the people in front of them was the wedding party. So they were departing, and that was a love letter. It was like everyone was leaving, but they were gonna stay. And
Wow.
it was really beautiful, and like I said, they did an amazing job of captivating it. It was very different fashion than you would see on a wedding stage,
Yeah, for sure.
let alone Scottsdale.
Mhm.
We put rancheras in Scottsdale, which was like my little like, hey.
Right? It's like I'm out here now.
Yeah, I'm out here.
Creole
Yeah.
culture. Yep.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of my models were Hispanic, so like their parents were on the stage. Like my mom was in tears because she's
Really?
like, the fact that you did that was crazy, and like hearing Mexican music was obviously like crazy for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, having those Latino parents still be part of what their you know, kids are doing, and being able to understand like the storyline was
Yeah.
really, really important to me. But yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
that was like I said, that was my pivotal point. If it didn't happen, I don't think I'd be here.
But it sounds like you went in with a plan, like
Yeah.
with that
Yeah.
that story of the love
Yeah.
letter. Like it sounds like you also like were ready for it too. Like
Yeah.
you,
I think I was. I think I was with the idea of like, I'm gonna go in with a punch.
Yeah.
Because like the only way I can go is down, and I'm okay with that.
yeah, it's like either
I,
up or
I
down, but
accepted
we're
it. I
going.
accepted it.
Yeah, you were still doing everything you needed to though
Yeah.
to make it like
Thank
at least
you.
the trajectory that you wanted.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And like I said, the team was amazing, incredible. The models were very communicative. Everyone had a say on what they were wearing, how they looked.
Okay.
So everyone had to pick their color. My last look was the only one that we were like 50-50. Cassandra was initially going to wear it, but when I met Lauren, she just had this like aura about her that I'm like, I need you in a wedding dress.
Really? Okay.
But it was initially going to be Cassandra, and then I saw Cassandra in the tangerine dress, and she just looked beautiful. And I joked with her that she looked like a novela star, like she just looked like the it girl
Yeah.
from the novelas. And
True,
yeah,
true.
that was her look. And you know, the guys, I'm like, I'm gonna put you in like a like plum pink, like it's gonna be an homage to the, you know, Mexican pink that we normally are known for, but it's a little warmer. And we
Yeah.
had like guys in tejanas and botas.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I remember.
So it was very different, and like I said, it was very thought out of like, I'm gonna go in, and you know, they hate it, I'm okay with that. I at least did it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's awesome.
It's your story. You know, it's your
Yeah.
creative direction.
Yeah.
Well, how was it for you being able to tell that? I mean, I know like most fashion shows, it varies, but you having the creative control and creative direction to be able to create this art piece to showcase your vision for your work.
Yeah. So for me, it was very liberating, I would say. It's always scary. I think with any artist, it's always like scary giving that piece of yourself to the world. Is such a weird feeling. Like you want to do it, but like at the same time, it's like shit.
that vulnerability a
Yeah,
little bit.
100% vulnerability. But it was good. It was me. It was how people remember me. I like to think I'm a kind person, so it was, you know, the vulnerability was there, but I was willing to let the models be part of the creative direction of it, and them have a say in it, and not just be. And I say this in the most wholesome way, and I don't mean this in any bad way, but like not just being a hanger on the runway. They had a say on it, whether, it was their favorite color or, did they like it? And I always said, I'm like, if you don't like it, like, tell me. I'm okay with that. I will not be upset about it whatsoever. I'd rather you be comfortable in the clothing. And yeah, and I had an amazing stylist, Pink, Aaliyah. She now goes by Pink. Yeah,
Pink Blunts.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's amazing. I think we like had a full conversation, and then we had no trial run. We just literally let her do her thing, which is very nice. I don't know if this was her first show or not, but she did an amazing job. I said, this is the vibe I'm going for. Have fun. So it was like everyone came together in this like pots, and we just started like stirring, and then it just developed into exactly what I was envisioning.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite part of the creative process is when you give everyone a little bit of creative freedom for expression.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what, as a whole or collective or team, what you guys can come up with when everybody interjects this piece, and the final result ends up being grander than it would have been if it was just a single
100%,
person.
100%. I'm pretty sure like they would have been like, oh, I hated this scrap. Like 100% I would have done this, and not only the assurance from those models, but like having, like you said, that creative freedom was so crucial.
That's awesome. So out of those outfits that you made on the air park, like, do you have like a certain one that kind of spoke to you? I know the bridal dress was, but was there any other ones that kind of spoke to you when?
I loved the one Hased had. It was an all pink plum, oversized kind of like casual ranchero. I called it swagger ranchero. That's the only way I can describe it. But I wanted to do a weird color, and my brother had this stingray boots that were like these vibrant like maroon color ones, and they were the inspiration behind the actual thing. Oh, wow. And I was like, I hope the model fits in his boots. He did, thank God. I don't know if it fit him well or not, but it fit really good on him. And it was, the detail was so different for a suit. It had no closures. It just had statement buttons. It was oversized. It had raw finishes. The men's pant zipper was a frontal zipper, and that was more so. Personally, I hate zippers. That's just my personal thing, because like women's have a specific side and guys have a specific side. So I'm like, we're gonna do it just middle, because Hispanic culture is very masculine and feminine, and I'm like, let's just do it differently. Okay. But it was an oversized suit, I would say, and it was very rooted into street fashion, but yet you can like updress it to look very Hispanic, or you can make it look casual, and the pieces look great separately, and it's very unisex driven, that I think it looks great on both men and women. I genuinely have, that's like my one. I'm like, that's the one. That's awesome. That I love. Yeah. That's awesome.
Were there any like standout moments last year with the Arizona Fashion Week collection that were like highlight moments for you? Like very specific moments that you just think back on, like that. I will never forget that. Yeah.
My brand party. A lot of people I work with on my day job went, and that was weird because they know me as like I said, a person in healthcare, and I'm just there, and I joke with them that I'm their personality hire, but they saw me in like my different world, and they're like, oh my God, you're like very talented. Why are you not doing this full time? That's like the bills.
Yeah, you told me that in our call that like all your coworkers showed up to like support you as well.
And it was very serendipitous nonetheless, but it was like weird because I was like, I offered, it's like very casual. I was like, oh, you guys should go. It sounds fun. Like that's literally how I told it to them. Like no pressure. And they actually showed up. And one of our the gentleman AJ, he worked in like lab something, and he had retired that like previous year, so I hadn't seen him, and I invited him like via text, and he actually showed up. And he like lives in Buckeye, and I'm like, Jesus,
wow,
dude.
Yeah,
I'm like that commitment nonetheless, but it was very
support.
It was very sweet, and I think that was like, I was like, I can't forget that. Like they showed up for me not realizing that they were actually gonna do it. I was very, like I said, I was very casual about telling them, but having that support from people on my day job, and having like, oh my God, like they think I'm doing a pretty decent job at their job, and then they also like believe that I can do this full time, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, yeah,
that's great. So what are your like future goals with fashion, or like do you plan to do more shows, or what's
We
kind
do,
of ahead?
yeah. We have a show coming up at the Arizona Fashion Week this year.
Mhm.
I was on the fence. I was 50-50 if I wanted to do it now, but I kind of bit the bullet, and I am doing it this year. It is a extension of last year's collection, but it is more driven for men.
Okay.
I love men's fashion. I buy a lot of men's jackets. I feel like they look nice.
Right.
You guys
They
have the
fit
most
with the
comfortable.
fit, you know.
Yeah, like
Like as long as they're with the colors and all that.
And I realized it's like a men's tee. I was like, Jesus.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's more driven for male, and even at the opening that you were at for our boutique was really great. But the feedback that we got was like, you guys need to put more men's stuff, and I was like, just you wait.
Yeah.
So yeah, men's stuff has always been very crucial. I have two brothers, and my boyfriend, they would love to wear stuff I make. And they're always like,
Nice.
"What are you gonna make for me?" And I was like, y'all in the
Like,
heftier side. It takes more fabric."
like it's coming. It's coming.
It's
Don't
coming. It's
worry.
coming. But it's very like I said, I make very comfortable clothes. So this collection's very driven in like haute couture, but still like keeping the Hispanic aspects of it, like the colors, the
Okay.
traditions, but still making it like more vintage 90s designers fashion.
Mhm.
So it's very inspired by a lot of everything of I admire and I love. So it's gonna come together, and it's gonna be more masculine. So it's gonna be really fun.
Yes. Yeah. Different. Completely
Yeah,
different.
and then obviously we have the boutique with House of Remy Rose and
Hummingbird.
Hummingbird with Lizette, and it's called the Vault. It's down on Central and Baseline. It sits on a wedding venue, so it's very interesting when you go in, and we always are open to share the space with any creative. So we are always willing to let anyone come
Sounds
and
good.
use it. We want to, and the one thing that we're doing differently due to the heat, because we're getting toasty up here for a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We want to
Yeah.
do night shopping. So we want to open up the vault from Friday to Sunday at like weird hours, like maybe staying open till 1 a.m. And people can just hang out and like
Yeah.
shop and do content there. And just because the heat sucks. and we
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
get it.
Definitely. Like I go
Yeah.
out after like 6 p.m. because like
Same.
it's
Yeah.
way
My
too
groceries
hot.
9 p.m.
Yeah. I'm like no.
I'm at the
I'm not
grocery store
going
with all the
out.
grandpas. But yeah, that's something that we want to do as a collective. And then I don't know. I want to make this my full time. I haven't jumped yet, but I kind of want to. I joke with my doctor that I'm gonna do this after December. I'm like, you have me till December. And he's like, stop. And I was
Like, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna
Right.
happen.
That's awesome.
And I'm making him a custom suit jacket because he does like spinal surgery. So I'm making him a custom suit jacket. And I said, when I give it to you, that'll be my resignation letter. And he's
Oh,
like, just don't
sick.
give it to me.
Like take your time on it.
Yeah,
He's like, I don't want it. Nope.
Yeah.
That's funny.
He's like, if I see a box, I'm just gonna come the other way. But yeah, that's something that's obviously in the near future. Hopefully, that is my goal. I like to say I you have to think financially in this economy. It's just not
Yeah.
realistic. Any creative career that you do is not financially stable. Starving artist is a very true term. And like I said, I do enjoy what I do in my morning job. It's very fulfilling. It's very soothing to the soul, realistically. But at the end of the day, it's like it's not what I love.
Yeah, but you want
Yeah.
to pursue your passion. Yeah.
And it takes a lot of time because I
Oh,
work
yeah.
a full shift, so it's like 40
Yeah.
hours plus
Mhm.
sometimes. And you get home and you don't want to touch anything, you don't want to do anything, especially in this heat. You don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like I just want to sit on the couch. you know?
Yeah,
But-
just sit there and like scroll mindlessly. But yeah, that is something that my next couple goals: do a lot more content, meet a lot more creatives, and collaborate with a lot more people is kind of my goal, and expand my knowledge of what everyone else is doing. Like I said, I really technically started back into fashion last year, and which is so weird because like obviously from 2018, 15, so different.
Yeah.
Especially
It's-
social
Yeah.
media.
It was like a cookie moment where you had been hiatus and just
Yeah.
kind of like build up to it.
Yeah, and
But
I was
even-
a
yeah.
viewer nonetheless for a while, and like you can retain so much information, but you're like everything's going so fast now. It's like
Yeah.
a million miles a minute nonetheless. But yeah, it's something I want to get better at is content creation. Like I said, we have those brand ambassadors that are already content creators, and they're helping me, guide me in the right direction as
Awesome.
well. So
That's good.
How's it been for you in terms? Well, actually, I'm going to backtrack. How's How do you feel about the industry out here in Arizona for fashion, and what is it that we're lacking? Like, what could we use more of? What is things that you would like to see grow and be developed?
It's a good question. I would say personally, and this is just my personal experience, I would like a lot more support from each other. I think
That's huge.
I think that is huge because, like I said, I shop the people I've gone to school with. I try to support when I can, even if it is liking a post that can go a really long way. But word of mouth is crucial. I always bring people into the conversation, even if they're not there, because I'm like, I genuinely believe in their work. So personally, that's something I do that I would love for other individuals in this creative world to do. Fashion is very crucial. In Arizona, we have, our small segues of everything, but it's not like collective. It's not a pod like LA or New York is. And I think that having it more inclusive is crucial, bringing in people that are not from the fashion industry but want to learn and appreciate fashion, appreciate, art and photography is very, very crucial. Because, it's best to bring in those people that could be not only potential buyers, investors, but also people that are going to be the consumers. It's crucial, so, so crucial. So, yeah, I think that's something I would love to see. It's just the awareness of it.
Yeah, I agree with that too, because I've been in this industry for a while as well, and from a photographer, content developer, it's like you definitely see there's a separation between different groups.
There is, yeah.
And I would love it to be where at least somebody takes the reins, like, let's find a way to bring it all together.
And like I said, that's something that's super crucial. And I joked with the people I worked with Arizona Fashion Week as far as my stylists and my models. I said, I'm going to bring you guys to the top with me. Like, I will literally, like I said, Leah Pink Blunts, she was a stylist at my show. She's my in-house stylist for the boutique. So
nice.
my boutique is able, for my collection, is able to be pulled out for any photo shoots and stuff like that for free. The only caveat is basically you have to utilize her services. So she has to be the stylist to the events.
That's good.
And that's a good caveat, right? That, like I said, that's the only caveat. Like, I will not charge you a penny. It's just I want her to grow in her career. But I also it's good exposure for my clothing. And I'm good with just exposure for now.
Yeah.
And like I said, utilize her services. If you want to purchase a piece at the end of the day, by all means. Everything's able to sell. But yeah, that is the only caveat I have for my showroom. That's what I like to call it. Like, it's always a showroom. Everything's able to be pulled. But she does have to style you. So, yeah.
I feel like that's a great route to really support the people who are with your brand. You know, it's the idea of what you were mentioning earlier of creatives supporting creatives. And that's a way you can optimize your brand to really support other creatives.
And like I said, that is something that I was like, hey, do you want to do this?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And she was like all on board. And I was like, okay, like, if you trust me, I trust you. And she does all our shoots. She's basically our creative director when it comes to the vault images and stuff like that. She'll just do random shoots, random here. Content days we're trying to schedule for. Like I said, we just don't have much product because we are all doing it kind of in-house. So most of the girls, like Lizette and I, are literally sewing everything ourselves from start to finish. So it does take process. And I joke with people, I'm like, I am not your Shein. I wish I was. There's not like a sweatshop. It's just me at the sweatshop. My mom is very sweet. She can sew a button, and that's about it.
A button?
She'll do a button. After 3, she calls it quits.
I had a little rip in my bag, and I tried to sew it together. I could not figure it out. Like, I don't know how... Like, you can
like the blind
use the
stitch?
pin because they kept ripping the string every time. I'm like, what's
it
going
worse.
on?
We'll do a course later.
Yeah, I was like, this is not for me. So I feel that.
Yeah, and like I said, it's something that, like, I pride myself in doing, and I hold myself accountable to do. Photographers, I'm always like, oh, I can find you a photographer. I'm like, and then I send them like a list of people, and normally I'm like, these people are these, and I'm like, I don't know their prices. Half the time I really don't, and I'm like, just send them a DM. They're really good. This is their work. And that's it. But I don't expect anything from it. I never expect photographers to be like, oh, now I have to do it for them. So I never tell them because I'm like, I don't want you to feel obligated to do anything for me. It's just basically I genuinely want to do it. I'm like, I genuinely support what you're doing. I think your work is probably incredible. If anything, I think I sent a few people your information.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
My day job knows your
Yeah.
information. They're trying to find a new photographer. I was like, you guys need new photos.
You'd be like, I
Check
know
this
the
guy
guy.
out. Yeah.
No, I really was. I was telling my doctor, I was like, you should really like, I'm like, the photos are good, but they're not great. They could be great. Follow this guy.
How about this guy?
And like I said, it's just something that like we as individuals, as creatives, should be holding ourselves accountable because you know it's always easy to ask for help, but as a creative, you're so prideful, and it's already so hard to put yourself out there as a creative, and also add someone to it. It's like, how do I do it correctly and respectfully? So yeah, it's something that we should do more, and I personally think that we could, you know, learn from each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Agreed.
So where do you see kind of everything that you've been through with fashion and like your experience? Where do you see CBK kind of in the next just 3 years? I would say. Like, what are your goals there?
No, I joked with 3 years. I'll be 31. So I have a bucket list, things to do before I'm 30. By 30, I wanted to own a store, which we got.
Like, I know
we got. But I do want it to be a little bit well known, at least in Arizona. I'll give myself the small, set the bar low type of thing.
Yeah, started in
low.
here, yeah.
But I do want at least one famous person, no matter what it is, to wear my clothing. Because once someone does it in the industry and it's a wider scale, it brings awareness to what my brand is, what it represents, and how crucial fashion is. Because I do everything in small batches because I do want to be sustainable as much as I can. Unfortunately, we're the most polluting practice. It's not something that I pride myself in, but it is something that I want to make a difference. And, you know, longevity in these clothing is very, very crucial. But yeah, once you see a celebrity, a goal celebrity, Simone Biles, personally, but I'll settle for anyone.
You're like, that's where I want to be.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
person. Wait, who would you see? Like, what celebrity could you see in one of your designs?
Personally, Simone Biles, because I feel like she has that like feminine yet masculine like perfect combination, and she's a small person. I'm a small person. Realistically, why? But I like the combination of how she can make very, very like a masculine sport, very feminine, and she carries herself very well, and I think she embodies everything my brand is too.
Oh, okay.
And I do want to make sure that anyone that does wear my stuff is embodying myself as a person, because you know you are wearing a piece of me. At the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's why, again, we want to have you on here to tell that story, because every outfit you make, of course, has a story to it, and like just how you want that person to feel when they're wearing it. So definitely, like, we love to get that. Just
that,
like background just on
and like
that.
I said, that is something I do pride myself. But yeah, I think she's a kind person. I mean, personally, Dalai Lama would be great too. But you know, we can pray, right? But no, I think it is very crucial for me that people that are wearing something that I make do realize that there's much more beyond the brand than just the clothing.
Yeah.
Because I have carried that in myself, not only in my everyday, but also in what I make and what I do and how I carry myself beyond that with individuals, with networkings, with people. And I don't have investors because of that. I will never owe anything to the bank because of that.
Yeah. You're like, this is all myself. This is mine.
Because then I hold myself accountable. That's my thing. Is I want to be able to be like, you have to do this because of this. And, you know, you might be the change of the world. It might be the little ripple effect, but it is a change.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Like, when you're, like, do you see yourself going to, like, other fashion shows, like, outside of Arizona, like LA or, like, New York? Do you see yourself, like, at some point kind of going into that?
I got offered to go to San Diego, which is why I was on the fence about Arizona.
What? San Diego Fashion Week?
San Diego Fashion Week.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I did not do it. It wasn't really out of my price point, but just the travel personally right now in my financial state, I can't. That's
just like Airbnb, your drive, your gas, the food, all
yeah.
that type of stuff.
I'm trying to figure it out. But no, I do. I think I am striving to, you know, kind of be more in a better financial state to say yes to a lot more things. In August 22nd, I was invited to go to this like women's meetup about women entrepreneurs and stuff.
I know exactly what train you're
At the
talking
W?
about. Yeah.
I got
What she said.
Yes.
The What She Said
I
event.
got offered to showcase there, and I'm like, I wish I had more stuff. I don't have
Really?
much stuff.
Yeah.
But they still invited me, and I said, in the future I would. And I think that's like, it was very short notice because I don't have, like I said, I don't have a team. So there's nothing I can really produce in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I would hate to sell myself short, but I would want to be honest with that person and be like, hey, I genuinely can't, but I would love to still be part of it within the near future. And, they're open to that. And I think that's
awesome.
That's very crucial.
That's awesome that you got that invite, though.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that they actually want you to be there, like,
Yeah.
that's such a great feeling,
It
too.
was. Thanks to Charisma. She kind of set that up for me. And I was like, that's awesome. Like I said, you meet amazing people. And it's nice that they're talking about you in
How you
nice
just mentioned,
ways.
yeah.
And it was like very like short notice, unfortunately. If I had something, I would have been like, yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
But
right.
I don't, and I would hate to, show something that I'm not so proud of.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I said no very politely. But hopefully in the near future there is something. Hopefully New York. That's my goal. It's always. I think that's everyone's goal.
Right. You'll be there.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal for sure. I joke with everyone. I'm like, at least like a model just wears my stuff. I'm okay with it. I don't even care about the runway. Just wear it at Fashion Week. We'll be fine.
Have you been to New York? Like,
I've never
like,
been.
So, like, other than the Arizona Fashion Week, was this like the first Fashion Week that you've ever just been to, or have you been to other?
Fashion Week, for sure. I've been to LA once. The LA Small Fashion Week. I think it was like the downtown district one, like years back. And then I did the few shows. I think like a few years back, with the Super Bowl was here.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I did like a very small thing with them, and like Cardi B was there, and it
Oh,
was
really?
crazy. Yeah, I got invited by Playboy out of all people.
No way.
Oh,
Wow, that's
was-
crazy.
Yeah.
That was at the W, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember
okay.
that.
Out of all
Okay.
people, I'm like, I support them, love them.
Wait,
but-
so that show that you were in, was that one at the Scottsdale Mall?
No. The one for that one, I don't know where it was. Honestly, I think I just like gave them some pieces. I don't know what it was.
Because I did film a fashion show during
You'll find it.
Scottsdale. Because like I think it was called the NFL Wives Fashion Show or something like that.
Yeah.
That was one of your designs.
I think so.
That's crazy. So like, I wish I would have had that footage, but I did like the worst mistake, and like I had thought I offloaded the stuff, but like originally I had just offloaded the footage that like the woman that needed me to film her parts. I offloaded that and sent that
And
to her.
nothing else.
So that job for her that she paid me for was good.
good, but nothing
like because like I completely forgot about all the runway footage and like I deleted it. I'm like,
to the
no
best of us.
way.
I've thrown fabric thinking it's just fabric when it's like a full garment underground, and just throwing it.
Oh, yeah.
Or like,
It's the worst.
donated it, and I'm like, well, someone has it.
Yeah, it's like
Just gave up on it.
Someone came up.
like now
Yeah.
now I'll remember that for
Yeah,
next
but
time.
I did Raw with Raw Artists a few years back, where I kind of just showcased, because I was doing athleisure, so it was like more like t-shirt designs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I did that, I'm going to say 2018, 2019, like right before we ended the school year, I would say. And then I've done like some spots here and there prior to college with like the malls, just local malls. And that's when I did, like I said, the pop top dress. And then I did a dress out of nylon balloons that was fully functional.
What?
I have a picture of it. I'll
Balloons?
send you guys a picture. I
Yeah,
look horrible
yeah,
because
we
it was,
need
it was
it.
Karina High School, but like that was the picture.
That's
It was
crazy.
fully functional. It was called the birthday dress because Karina was creative in high school.
Right.
But that got me a scholarship to the AI, and my first semester was paid for because of that dress. So I was very, very
Wow,
grateful.
that's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, which was like my
Yeah.
only way of like telling my mom like, okay, I'm doing this.
So
but
what
yeah.
inspired that? Like what was that idea that you had that you wanted to do that?
Well, we did a recycled event with, like I said, FCCLA, which was a community thing that a lot of individuals did, like kids did, for scholarships, and it was like a recycled event, and you did dresses and garments and different things out of not everyday things.
Oh, okay.
And for a whole year in high school, you know how they used to give balloons? I don't know what high school looks like now, but they used to give balloons to people. So I would ask all my friends that anytime they would get balloons at the end, like when they started dying down, to just save them for me. And I had like a room full of balloons, and then I made the dress.
No
and they had
way.
like fringe. It was crazy. I have to send you guys a picture, but yeah, that's what it was.
Dang, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll
you
check
literally
that
have
out.
just that like just super creative mindset when it comes
Yeah.
to like what you're making.
Yeah, and it was like so, like I said, it was so random. And I've done like, obviously, I've done runway with Fabric in their Runs for Scissors events, where they do a lot of recycled denim out of, you know, denim that is donated by, it used to be Four Peaks, and it kind of changes throughout the years. It started, I'm going to say like 2-3 years ago, roughly.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And I think one of the first people that did it was Four Peaks. They did a running competition, and you traded in your jeans, and they would give you a kilt, and those jeans would be donated to designers to recreate and reimagine.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
So they have like a whole system
It's
kind
a
of
whole
like how
system.
everything goes.
Every year is
yeah.
different, but that was the first year, and they showed my sketch on TV, and my mom was like super proud. She took a picture. She was
On
like,
TV?
It was on TV, the sketch, just the sketch, and she was like, she made it.
Yeah, right. She's
Every
like,
Latino
"That's my
mom's
daughter."
dream.
That's funny.
It's like, right, it
and
was worth it that
it
you
was
didn't
worth
go into
that 5
biochem.
seconds.
Yeah.
Then like I'm also a Hispanic, so like
Yeah.
I know how Mexican moms get
Yeah,
when they scream.
everyone in the family
like,
knew about it.
"Ah," yeah.
She
I
said
can
it to
feel
everyone in Mexico. Everyone in Mexico knows I am legendary.
Right? They're like, that's my
yeah.
daughter.
Yeah, no,
That's
100%. So that was that. So I've done that event three times already.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I genuinely enjoy it. It brings me to think a little bit more in depth as to what I'm creating, especially making it sustainable. And it just makes me like, I did the second dress I sold recently. So the second dress had not been out of quote unquote the vault until the opening. And one of Candace's lovely friends, who is a coach of impact, like life coach, she purchased it, and it took 400 hours to make that dress.
Wow.
I
400
hand
hours?
cut.
That's commitment.
Yeah.
Literally.
So I I unstitched everything by hand, like everything. So I utilized every piece of the denim, and I think it was like four or five jeans, probably less, all together. And
Oh,
I hand
dang.
cut flowers out of those denim pieces, like male jeans, and then I try to utilize the fabric or the thread that was already like removed but was still intact. I used that as some centerpieces of the flower to restitch it.
Okay.
So I was like trying to be
Wow.
really sustainable.
Yeah, trying to use the
Yeah.
most out of what you got.
Yeah, so that's why it took so long. So that was my second dress. The first dress, no, that was my first dress actually. The second dress was this is why I do this to myself. I hand fringed a whole denim, so it looked like fringe, like basically like tassels.
Okay.
But it was all hand unstitched denim, and it just looked like a bunch of tassels. And it was like probably 300 hours, I'm gonna say, give or take.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you really just spend your time to make sure like it's right.
For those for sure I do. But
Do you ever get in a point where it's like the vision was great and you love it, but then like in the middle it's like, oh, why?
I think I'm just extra, and I just commit to it. I just
Yeah.
commit to the bit. But no, I think once I hit like the 2-hour mark, I'm like, why do I do this to myself? You hear my
That's
mom in the
funny.
background like, why? Just make it simple. And I was like, I can't.
Yeah, I'm the same way with like my photography. Sometimes I'm like, I really just hurt myself. But
No, 100%. And then
yeah.
you see it, and like it looks great.
Yeah.
It's okay.
this is why. This is
is
worth
why.
it.
Yeah, and this last year we did the design again for denim, and I think one of the people didn't want to sell their garment, so I offered in case someone backed out to do it, and I
Okay.
got the opportunity to do it at a charity event for Goodwill Foundation.
Oh, nice.
So my design actually walked the runway for there.
Really?
Which
Oh,
is
that's awesome.
crazy, and it wasn't like a runner-up or contestant or anything. But that one was very, very different than my crazy ones. I was like a little bit more chilled.
Right.
A little bit more reeled in.
Was that the one at Tempe Marketplace?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
I was there for that one. I
Yeah,
remember.
it was a lot more reeled in than the last previous years. I will be honest. I think just for time constraints, I think that's why it was a little bit more reeled in. Next year, I'm already started the one for next year, and it's just gonna be crazy. And I really need
That's
to.
awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, but no. Again, going back to the craziness, that's how Fashion Week's gonna be. I feel like men's fashion is very like, kind of like cut and paste on pieces. So you have to be crazy on the details and the stitching and all that stuff. So it's gonna
Yeah.
be very fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how can people like, do they just reach out to you to want to make you like, or for you to make them an outfit, or how do they get in
So
contact with you?
everything I make is obviously accessible in my website. Obviously the vault if possible, and then if you want a custom piece or you have an idea, obviously DM me. I'm really good about my phone's always in my hand. That's literally both my jobs are my phone's in my hand. So
Yeah.
best way to contact me is by my phone. But yeah, DM me, and I think that's the best way to get a hold of me. I'm willing to do most things. I'm not crazy. Like, I'm not gonna do like some crazy avant-garde stuff just because
Yeah.
I don't think I'm capable of it yet.
Avant-garde. I honestly don't know too much about what that looks like.
That's
but-
like, you would think. I don't know if you look up Alexander McQueen, the crazy shows that he does, like,
Mhm.
and Schiaparelli. It's very out there
Oh,
stuff.
okay. I would
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
see like a photo of it,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
medieval type of stuff.
Crazier.
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 What? I gotta see
Yeah.
this.
It's like the type of stuff that you only wear in like very special, unique
Yeah,
occasions.
like the
Really?
Met Gala
Yeah.
and then some.
Oh, okay.
Like crazy stuff.
You wouldn't see someone walking down in the
I mean,
mall
you
or the
can, you
store.
shouldn't, but you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd just be like, what?
Like everybody
Yeah.
would
Dope.
get stares.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You'd be like, what? Look,
where'd
look
you
at what that
get
guy's
yours?
wearing.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit, that's
So
crazy.
yeah, that, like I said, that's there. It's always accessible. I try to make myself accessible as possible. I'm working, like I said, on a few pieces, not only for Fashion Week. There's a custom design I'm making for a girl, and it's gonna be a wedding dress she's gonna attend, and it's like custom to her. So like she, is picking out the beading, the fabric. It's all like silk organza, and it's gonna be like black, and it's very detailed. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. So, do you have like any kind of last words of like how you're expecting just the rest of the year up until Fashion Week starts? Like, how are you kind of feeling? Like, how's everything going from now?
I'm feeling good. Denial is a great thing. Fake it till you make it. No, I think realistically, I'm so stressed. Not like stressed as in like, oh my god, it's not gonna work out. It's like stress like, I hope they like it.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to pick my models, so that's
Yeah.
very crucial. And yeah, I'm very stressed in a good way.
Yeah, I feel like
Good
that's
stress.
how kind of every designer is though.
Yeah.
When they try something just out of their realm or something that they're not always doing, like it's hard. Like they gotta really get into that
Yeah.
mindset
Yeah.
of like, I got this.
Yeah,
Like this is
but
how
like
I'm doing it.
like I said, right now I'm doing all the research of it and making sure I'm not like culturally appropriating anything I shouldn't. I'm Latina, but I look very pale to people, so it's very hard for me not to culturally appropriate things.
Yeah.
So I always like want to make sure that I'm not, I'm not well versed in all of Mexico because it's very grand, and I know you're Latino, so you know this. But I don't want to do something that might be offensive to a culture specific.
Okay.
So I am doing my research, and bringing in those ties. A lot of education takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
To do a
Yeah.
collection. Yeah.
To learn. So how long have you been just in the game since you said since 2018 or 20?
Officially, as CBK 2018, prior 2015-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to again filming all your designs
Yes.
on the runway. I'm gonna be filming there again, so
That's
looking
Keep
exciting.
up
forward
with
to
your
it.
journey, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you see a model fall, you just look away, just like pan out, just pan out. I always joke with them, like, just don't fall. If you do, it's okay. Just lay there, make it the moment. Like, make it the moment. Like, that is it.
Yeah.
Make it part of the show.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you were meant to do
intended,
that.
and then
yeah.
everyone behind you has to do
Yeah.
that now.
Right? You gotta
It has
keep
to
up
be-
with the
we
show.
all are feeling together, and that's okay.
That's funny.
No, I would say I'm a really laid back designer when it comes to certain things. So
Nice. That's
yeah.
awesome. Any last words, Jeff?
No, I think that's great. Like I'm really excited for your
Thank
collection,
you.
everything you're doing, and
Yeah.
seeing how the journey continues.
yeah.
I don't know, being involved in Fashion Week last year and knowing that was a pivotal pivotal point for you of like almost like a make it and break it. It's like you're all in. It's
Yeah.
like this is it. I'm going for it. And
Yeah.
then seeing where it's gone for you now.
And it's very crazy.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys even saying that. And like I said, just even being here is so important to me. I don't take anything for granted, and I genuinely mean that. You guys' time is very crucial, and bringing awareness to my brand is very crucial. But also like seeing your guys' growth and development. Like I said, I stalked you guys. Well, I stalked you mostly because I didn't know much about you.
Yeah. You
In
just
a
like
very
went to school with
respectful
you.
way. Very
I stopped
Yeah,
you
well,
respectfully.
I'm all over. Like, all my content, go binge it, you know?
I
Some
did. That
views
was the
for
worst
me.
part. I was like at work. I was like, wow, okay. And I think you started very early on.
Yeah, I've been doing content for quite a bit of time.
Yeah. I think I went pretty back. So if you see some random like, it was probably me.
Yeah,
And then
that's
obviously
funny.
seeing your growth since school was great, and it's always nice seeing people and alumni from college. It's nice that they're still in art, which is not always the way to do it.
I hate seeing that, and a lot of us are so talented, and we're in this industry, but trying to balance the artist life and the practical life is difficult.
Yeah.
But that's why I like seeing what you're doing with Candace and Lizette together. I'm like, yes,
That's
we're
what we
doing
did.
it.
We're doing it.
More of us need to be out there doing it.
And like I said, you guys are always welcome to film there or shoot anything, or
Appreciate it.
just let us know. It's a creative space for sure.
I'm waiting for you guys to do your own show over there. I'm just saying.
I-
Ideas.
I told Candace about it. I was like, I would get canceled.
Like, we got to figure it out right. How to do it right.
That's why I asked if I can curse, because I'm like,
That's funny.
I'm so used to like my brothers. So I'm like, Jesus, I need to like censor myself sometimes.
That's funny.
It's not very ladylike, guys.
He likes overrated.
Oh, right.
You know, just
So 2022.
make them embrace you.
Right. But yeah, so I'm excited, obviously, to work more with you in Arizona Fashion Week, and then to see more of your creative development, 100%. And
No,
this space is amazing. I
Thank
already
you.
love it. So
Yeah, thank you for coming on. And again, where can the people find you? And then what dates are your shows?
yeah, I don't think we have a set date for anything yet. 100%. For sure, they can find me at the Vault. If you go to Central and Baseline, look us up at the Vault on Central. It is spelled incorrectly on purpose. It's the Scorpio in me. And then obviously Castillo by Karina on all social media platforms. And then, CastilloByKarina.com is a way to do any purchases. We also have a newsletter and hopefully a writer coming on board with our website. So
Yes.
Yeah, it's
well,
just scaling up.
yeah.
Continue it going.
yeah,
Oh,
and again,
awesome.
it's another creative. So
Yeah. Well, we love you, Karina,
Thank
and we
you.
love everything you're doing, and
Appreciate it.
looking forward to working with you more in the future.
Yes, 100%.
And you want to
Wrap
close
it
it
up?
out? Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Snapshot Podcast. Thank you again for Karina for telling us about her story. So we will see you guys in the next podcast.
Thank you.
Peace.